war known as the Titanomachy had begun, a conflict that would span ages, a battle for the very fabric of the cosmos. On one side stood Cronus and the Titans, ancient beings of unparalleled strength who ruled through fear and domination. On the other, Zeus and his allies, united not by fear, but by hope for a world free from oppression. Cronus, the Titan king, led his forces with unrelenting fury, his fear of the prophecy fueling his desire to quash all who dared rise against him. The Titans were formidable, towering over the battlefield like giants of old, wielding their power with the same authority they had used to shape the world. But Zeus and his allies fought with a strength born of purpose, each strike of their weapons a testament to their shared vow for freedom and justice. On the plains beneath the peak of Olympus, the two forces clashed in a ferocious storm of power. Zeus, Thunderbolt in hand, was at the forefront, his eyes blazing with determination as he led the charge. With each swing of his weapon, lightning split the skies, illuminating the battlefield and striking terror into the hearts of the Titans. Thunder rolled across the heavens, a declaration that the time of Cronus's reign was coming to an end. Poseidon wielded his trident with unyielding force, commanding the very seas to rise and aid their cause. Waves crashed upon the battlefield, sweeping through the Titan ranks with the fury of the ocean itself. By his side, Hades struck from the shadows, his helm of invisibility allowing him to move unseen, an embodiment of death's quiet strength that left Titans bewildered and fearful. Prometheus, with his boundless wisdom, offered strategy and guidance, ensuring that every move counted. Strike not only with force, he urged, but with precision. The Titans are powerful, but they are not invincible. Each word guided Zeus's allies, their strikes honed and purposeful, pushing the Titans back with every clash. Yet the Titans, creatures of ancient power, were not so easily defeated. Each one wielded an elemental strength that had shaped the world itself. Atlas, the mighty Titan known for his unbreakable will, fought with the force of mountains, his every step shaking the ground. Hyperion, the Titan of light, unleashed blinding beams that scattered across the battlefield, creating a blazing shield around his allies. The ferocity of their attacks was a reminder that the Titans were more than rulers. They were forces of nature. Cronus, their king, loomed over the battlefield, his presence like a shadow stretching over Olympus. He wielded his sickle with deadly precision, each strike filled with the wrath of a king who would not easily relinquish his throne. His voice thundered across the battlefield, taunting Zeus and his allies with the certainty of his rule. "You cannot defeat me, Zeus," Cronus bellowed, his voice carrying both disdain and fury. "I have ruled since the dawn of time, and no child born of prophecy will end what I have built." But Zeus and his allies knew that their strength lay not in sheer power, but in unity. They fought as one, each god and goddess supporting the other, their shared purpose amplifying their strength. Hera, with fierce precision, shielded her allies from Titan attacks, her spirit unyielding as she held the line alongside Demeter, who called upon the earth itself, causing vines and roots to rise from the ground, binding the Titan's feet and disrupting their movements. "Stand strong," Zeus called to his allies, his voice carrying across the battlefield. "Together, we are unstoppable. Together we will bring an end to tyranny." The allies felt the strength of his words, each one a reminder of their shared commitment to the cause. They were not fighting for power or dominance, but for a future free from fear. Each strike of their weapons was a step toward that future, each clash a promise to those who had been silenced by Cronus's rule. As the battle raged on, Zeus found himself face to face with Hyperion, the Titan of light. Hyperion, glowing with the brightness of 1,000 suns, wielded his power with unmatched fury, his light a blinding shield that kept even the strongest at bay. But Zeus, Thunderbolt in hand, called upon the storm within him, summoning lightning that split the heavens in two. With a powerful strike, Zeus directed the lightning at Hyperion, their powers colliding in a fierce explosion of light and energy. The sky flashed with their battle, illuminating Olympus in a brilliant display of power. With a final surge of strength, Zeus's thunderbolt broke through Hyperion's defenses, sending the Titan crashing to the ground. The sight of Hyperion's fall sent a wave of uncertainty through the Titan ranks. For the first time, they felt the strength of the gods as a true threat, a force that could challenge even the mightiest among them. The battle turned, the gods gaining ground as the Titans began to falter, their unity beginning to fracture under the weight of Olympus's power. Zeus, sensing the shift in momentum, raised his thunderbolt high above his head, his voice resonating across the battlefield. "Titans, your reign of fear ends here. Olympus will be a place of justice and balance. Surrender or face the wrath of the gods united." Cronus, filled with rage, responded with a defiant roar, refusing to bow before what he considered an upstart's rebellion. He rallied his remaining allies, his gaze fixed on Zeus with a hatred that ran as deep as the cosmos itself. "I will not yield, Zeus," he spat. "The throne belongs to the Titans, and I will see Olympus burn before I let it fall into your hands." With those words, the battlefield erupted once more into chaos, but now it was clear. The gods were gaining strength, their unity a force the Titans could not break. As the day drew to a close, the battlefield fell into a tense silence, both sides withdrawing momentarily to regroup. But Zeus knew the final confrontation with Cronus was near, an inevitable clash that would decide the fate of Olympus and the future of all creation. He looked upon his allies, each one battle-worn yet resolute, their hearts undeterred by the trials of war. Together, they had pushed the Titans back, but the hardest challenge still lay ahead. The final battle, a confrontation between father and son, loomed like a dark cloud on the horizon, a clash that would forever reshape the heavens. As the sun set over the battlefield, Zeus clenched the Thunderbolt in his hand, ready for the trials that awaited him. He and his allies would face the might of Cronus one last time, and Olympus would rise or fall with the dawn. With nightfall settling over Olympus, Zeus and his allies prepared themselves, gathering their strength for the battles yet to come. They were not just gods fighting for power. They were forces of hope, protectors of balance, determined to reclaim a future that had been taken from them. The Titanomachy was far from over, but Zeus knew that together they could stand against even the darkest forces. The fate of the cosmos lay in their hands, and with each passing moment, they drew closer to the battle that would shape their destinies. The end of the war approaches, as Zeus faces Cronus, father against son. The heavens brace for a clash of titanic proportions. Join us in the next episode as the fate of Olympus hangs in the balance, and Zeus's destiny to rule is tested against the power of the Titan King. As dawn broke over the mountains, Zeus and his allies stood poised on the plains of Olympus, ready for what they knew would be the final confrontation. The war had stretched over eons, each battle leaving its mark on the heavens and the earth. Titans and gods alike had fallen, and the scars of the Titanomachy were etched across the landscape. Now, it was time for the battle that would define the fate of Olympus. Across the field stood Cronus, the Titan King, flanked by the last of his allies. His figure loomed as an unyielding shadow, his eyes burning with fury and resolve. Cronus clutched his sickle, the weapon that had once brought him victory over his own father, Uranus. But today, he faced a challenge unlike any he had ever known, a son whose power matched his own, and who was driven by a force beyond fear, hope. Zeus stepped forward, his thunderbolt glowing with an energy that crackled in the charged air around him. For a moment, silence fell over the battlefield as father and son locked eyes. In Cronus's gaze, Zeus saw the bitterness of a ruler clinging to power, and in Zeus's own heart there surged a determination to break the chains of fear that had bound the world for so long. "Your reign is over, Cronus," Zeus declared, his voice unwavering, echoing across the field. "No longer will you hold this world in darkness. The time for change has come, and I am here to bring it." Cronus sneered, his voice dripping with disdain. "You may carry the prophecy, Zeus, but you are still my child. The throne of the cosmos belongs to the Titans. I will see Olympus crumble before I surrender it to you." With those words, Cronus swung his sickle, sending a wave of dark energy tearing through the earth. Zeus met it with his thunderbolt, and the two powers collided in a blinding flash, lighting up the battlefield and sending shockwaves across the heavens. As their forces clashed, Zeus and Cronus unleashed their full strength, each attack reverberating through the very fabric of creation. Zeus wielded his thunderbolt with precision, lightning arcing from his hand to meet Cronus's sickle in explosions of light and darkness. Each strike illuminated the battlefield, revealing the faces of gods and titans watching in awe and fear as the two titanic figures fought. Poseidon and Hades, standing beside their allies, held back the remaining titans, battling fiercely to keep Cronus's reinforcements at bay. Poseidon summoned towering waves from the earth's hidden waters, crashing through the ranks of the Titans. Hades, moving through shadows, struck swiftly and silently, his helm of invisibility allowing him to sow chaos among Cronus's forces. But the focal point of the battle was Zeus and Cronus, their powers colliding in a display of raw, unstoppable energy. The sky churned with dark clouds, lightning and shadows entwining as father and son fought for dominion over the heavens. Each clash left scorched earth and molten stone in its wake, as if the world itself could barely withstand the force of their struggle. Zeus could feel the weight of Olympus behind him, the hopes of gods and mortals alike resting on his shoulders. The memory of those who had fallen in the war fueled his resolve. He was no longer just a son fighting his father. He was the embodiment of a new age, a leader fighting for the freedom of the cosmos. In a surge of strength, Zeus channeled the power of his allies, drawing on the loyalty and courage that bound them together. He felt Hestia's warmth, Prometheus's wisdom, Hera's fierce resolve, and Poseidon and Hades' unbreakable support. They were not just fighting to end a reign. They were fighting to create a future that would endure, a future built on unity and justice. With renewed determination, Zeus struck, sending a massive bolt of lightning arcing through the sky. It met Cronus's sickle with an explosion of energy so bright it momentarily blinded all who watched. When the light faded, Zeus stood, his grip on the thunderbolt firm, his gaze steady. He would not yield, not with the fate of the world hanging in the balance. Realizing that Zeus's strength was greater than he had anticipated, Cronus's expression shifted from disdain to desperation. He unleashed a barrage of attacks, each one faster and more forceful than the last, attempting to overwhelm Zeus with sheer fury. Shadows twisted around him as he drew on every ounce of his power, a last attempt to cling to his throne. But Zeus, fueled by his allies' loyalty and the hope of a world free from tyranny, met Cronus's fury with unbreakable resolve. With a final cry, he raised his thunderbolt, calling down a storm from the heavens, its power magnified by the will of Olympus itself. Lightning struck Cronus, illuminating the Titan's face in a blinding white light as he staggered back, weakened by the force of Zeus's attack. Cronus fell to his knees, his strength waning as the skies opened above him. For the first time, he looked up at Zeus not as a child, but as a god, one whose purpose went beyond mere prophecy, a god who embodied the strength of all who had suffered under his rule. Zeus approached Cronus, his thunderbolt raised. For a moment he hesitated, the weight of what he was about to do settling upon him. This was his father, the ruler he had once feared, the being who had tried to shape his destiny in chains. But Zeus's heart was filled not with vengeance, but with justice. He had seen a world ruled by fear, and he would ensure it never returned to such darkness. With a final decisive strike, Zeus unleashed the full force of the thunderbolt, binding Cronus and bringing an end to his reign. The ground trembled as the light faded, and Cronus fell silent, his shadow finally banished from the world. The battlefield grew still, a profound silence falling over Olympus as the Titans looked upon their defeated king. Zeus, breathing heavily, lowered his thunderbolt. The war was over, and Olympus was free. As the sun rose over Olympus, Zeus turned to his allies, each face filled with awe and respect. They had stood together against the might of the Titans, united by a purpose that had proven stronger than any one god alone. Together, they had brought an end to the age of fear, ushering in a new dawn. Hera, Demeter, Poseidon, and Hades joined him, standing together as the first council of Olympus. Their bond, forged in battle and strengthened by loyalty, would be the foundation of a new realm, a home for gods who would guide the world with wisdom and compassion. Olympus, once a mountain shrouded in shadows, now stood as a beacon of hope and unity, a promise of a future shaped by justice. Zeus knew the responsibilities that awaited him, the challenges that would test him as he claimed his throne. But he also knew that he would not face these trials alone. He had allies, friends, and family, bound by the oath they had sworn together. As he looked upon the new council, he felt a sense of peace, a certainty that they would shape the world into a place where fear held no power. Thus, the age of Olympus began, led by Zeus, the god who had risen from child of prophecy to king of gods. But securing the throne was only the beginning. With Cronus defeated, the three brothers, Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades, would face the daunting task of dividing the realms. Join us in the next episode as they forge a new order, a division of power that would shape the cosmos and test the bonds of family. With the Titanomachy behind them, Zeus and his allies stood at the precipice of a new age. The Titans had been defeated, and Cronus's reign of fear had ended. Olympus was free, and a world that had long suffered under tyranny now awaited its new leaders. As the sun rose over the peaks of Olympus, Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades knew that their most challenging task was yet to come, establishing the order by which the cosmos would be governed. The brothers gathered in the sacred council hall, each carrying the weight of their newfound roles. Though they were family, each had powers unique to their nature, strengths that would guide their choice in what was to come. Together, they would decide the division of realms, each taking on responsibilities that would set the foundation of Olympus and the world below. As they stood side by side, Zeus looked at his brothers with a deep respect. They had fought together through the chaos of war, their loyalty and strength carrying them through even the darkest battles. Though each was powerful in his own right, they shared a bond stronger than any rivalry. Zeus knew that this bond would be critical in the days ahead, as the decisions they made would have lasting consequences for gods and mortals alike. The world is vast, Zeus began, his voice carrying a tone of reverence. We have freed Olympus, but it must be divided in a way that honors the balance we have fought to restore. Each of us holds a power that belongs to a different realm, and with it, a responsibility to maintain the harmony we have earned through this victory. Poseidon nodded, his gaze steady. Then let us honor our purpose. Each realm should have a protector who understands its nature, a ruler who can maintain its strength. Hades, ever the silent one, listened closely, his eyes reflecting both the weight of his own thoughts and a quiet understanding of the necessity of this moment. Together, they prepared to shape the cosmos, each accepting the responsibilities they would soon carry. Zeus spoke first, his voice steady with both certainty and humility. "I will take the heavens, the sky. It is a place of light and storms, a realm that brings life to the earth below. My thunderbolt will command the skies, and I will ensure that the heavens watch over all who dwell beneath them. From the peak of Olympus, I will guide and protect, and keep the balance from above." As Zeus declared his choice, the sky seemed to respond, a soft breeze sweeping over the mountain, as if acknowledging his role. The heavens were vast and boundless, and under Zeus's reign, they would become a realm of justice, a symbol of protection over the world. Poseidon, stepping forward with calm determination, met his brother's gaze. "Then I will take the sea, the waters that stretch across the world. The ocean is a place of both peace and fury, of hidden depths and restless waves. I will rule the seas and guide its creatures, from the smallest fish to the mightiest leviathans. I will command the tides and protect the waters, ensuring that they bring life and balance to all shores." As Poseidon claimed the sea, a soft rumble of waves echoed in the distance, as if the ocean itself acknowledged its new ruler. The sea would be his realm, a world where his trident would reign supreme, a place of mystery and power that only Poseidon could understand and command. With his brothers having chosen their realms, Hades stepped forward, a solemn look in his eyes. He was different from Zeus and Poseidon, quieter, more reflective, and his understanding of life extended beyond the realms of light and sea. He looked at his brothers, a subtle sadness in his gaze, but also a deep acceptance of the role he was about to take on. "I will rule the underworld," Hades said, his voice steady and calm. "The realm of shadows and rest, where souls find their final peace. It is a place of mystery, of endings and beginnings. I will ensure that it remains a realm of balance, a place where all can find justice and order beyond life. Though my realm is one of darkness, it too is a part of this world." The underworld was a place of mystery and solemnity, a realm that would exist in harmony with the world above, neither dark nor light, but a necessary part of the cycle of existence. Hades's choice reflected his quiet strength, a role that few would understand, but which he accepted with dignity and respect. As he spoke, the earth trembled softly, as if the realm of shadows itself was greeting its new ruler. Hades, with his understanding of life and death, would bring order and peace to the world beyond, completing the balance that their new order required. The three brothers, having chosen their realms, looked upon each other with respect and solidarity. Though each would rule separate worlds, they were bound by an unbreakable oath, a promise to protect the balance of the cosmos and to uphold the peace they had fought so hard to secure. Together, they raised their hands in a solemn vow, their voices united in a declaration that would echo through the ages. "We are rulers of separate realms," Zeus declared, "but we are bound by purpose and by blood. We will honor this order, protect each other's realms, and stand together as guardians of the world." Poseidon and Hades joined in the vow, their words carrying the strength of the ocean and the solemnity of the earth. The skies, the seas, and the underworld were now divided, each realm with its own ruler, yet all part of a unified cosmos. With their realms decided, the brothers began to establish Olympus as the seat of their council, a place where the gods could gather, share counsel, and watch over the world. The mountain, once a battlefield, became a sanctuary of unity, its halls a place of justice and wisdom. Here, the gods would rule, not through fear, but through understanding and balance. As Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades began to shape Olympus, they invited their allies to join them, creating a council that would oversee the well-being of mortals and ensure that each realm remained in harmony. The halls of Olympus became a symbol of their commitment, a place where gods and goddesses could gather to guide the world and protect the balance they had created. Hera, Demeter, Hestia, and the other gods who had fought alongside Zeus took their places, each one an essential part of the new order. Together, they would rule Olympus as a united family, their wisdom and strength a guiding force for all who dwelt under their protection. As they gathered for the first time in the newly established halls of Olympus, the gods and goddesses shared their visions for the world. Zeus spoke of justice and guidance, Poseidon of harmony with nature, and Hades of respect for the cycle of life and death. Together they laid out the laws that would govern Olympus and the realms below, ensuring that each god and goddess would honor their duties and protect their domains. "Let this council be a place of wisdom and unity," Zeus declared. "May our decisions honor the world we have freed, and may we always stand together, no matter the trials that await." The council affirmed their commitment, each god and goddess taking their place in the order that would govern Olympus. The bonds forged in battle now became bonds of duty and trust, a promise to uphold peace and justice across all realms. As the council adjourned, Zeus looked upon his brothers and allies with pride. They had done more than just defeat the Titans. They had forged a legacy, a new order that would shape the heavens and earth alike. Each realm was now in balance, each ruler entrusted with the care of their domain. The The world, once cast in shadow, was now filled with light, unity, and purpose. And so, the era of Olympus began, a time of peace and prosperity led by Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades. They were no longer just warriors, they were guardians of a world built on hope, each one a protector of the cosmos in his own right. But while peace reigned in Olympus, Zeus knew that maintaining order would require more than just unity. It would require strength. Join us in the next episode as Zeus, with Thunderbolt in hand, receives a powerful gift from the Cyclopes, a weapon that will secure his throne and shape the course of Olympus. With the Titanomachy behind them, Zeus and his allies stood at the precipice of a new age. The Titans had been defeated, and Cronus's reign of fear had ended. Olympus was free, and a world that had long suffered under tyranny now awaited its new leaders. As the sun rose over the peaks of Olympus, Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades knew that their most challenging task was yet to come, establishing the order by which the cosmos would be governed. The brothers gathered in the sacred council hall, each carrying the weight of their newfound roles. Though they were family, each had powers unique to their nature, strengths that would guide their choice in what was to come. Together, they would decide the division of realms, each taking on responsibilities that would set the foundation of Olympus and the world below. As they stood side by side, Zeus looked at his brothers with a deep respect. They had fought together through the chaos of war, their loyalty and strength carrying them through even the darkest battles. Though each was powerful in his own right, they shared a bond stronger than any rivalry. Zeus knew that this bond would be critical in the days ahead, as the decisions they made would have lasting consequences for gods and mortals alike. The world is vast, Zeus began, his voice carrying a tone of reverence. We have freed Olympus, but it must be divided in a way that honors the balance we have fought to restore. Each of us holds a power that belongs to a different realm, and with it, a responsibility to maintain the harmony we have earned through this victory. Poseidon nodded, his gaze steady. Then let us honor our purpose. Each realm should have a protector who understands its nature, a ruler who can maintain its strength. Hades, ever the silent one, listened closely, his eyes reflecting both the weight of his own thoughts and a quiet understanding of the necessity of this moment. Together, they prepared to shape the cosmos, each accepting the responsibilities they would soon carry. Zeus spoke first, his voice steady with both certainty and humility. I will take the heavens, the sky. It is a place of light and storms, a realm that brings life to the earth below. My thunderbolt will command the skies, and I will ensure that the heavens watch over all who dwell beneath them. From the peak of Olympus, I will guide and protect, and keep the balance from above. As Zeus declared his choice, the sky seemed to respond, a soft breeze sweeping over the mountain as if acknowledging his role. The heavens were vast and boundless, and under Zeus's reign, they would become a realm of justice, a symbol of protection over the world. Poseidon, stepping forward with calm determination, met his brother's gaze. Then I will take the sea, the waters that stretch across the world. The ocean is a place of both peace and fury, of hidden depths and restless waves. I will rule the seas and guide its creatures, from the smallest fish to the mightiest leviathans. I will command the tides and protect the waters, ensuring that they bring life and balance to all shores. As Poseidon claimed the sea, a soft rumble of waves echoed in the distance, as if the ocean itself acknowledged its new ruler. The sea would be his realm, a world where his trident would reign supreme, a place of mystery and power that only Poseidon could understand and command. With his brothers having chosen their realms, Hades stepped forward, a solemn look in his eyes. He was different from Zeus and Poseidon, quieter, more reflective, and his understanding of life extended beyond the realms of light and sea. He looked at his brothers, a subtle sadness in his gaze, but also a deep acceptance of the role he was about to take on. I will rule the underworld, Hades said, his voice steady and calm. The realm of shadows and rest, where souls find their final peace. It is a place of mystery, of endings and beginnings. I will ensure that it remains a realm of balance, a place where all can find justice and order beyond life. Though my realm is one of darkness, it too is a part of this world. The underworld was a place of mystery and solemnity, a realm that would exist in harmony with the world above, neither dark nor light, but a necessary part of the cycle of existence. Hades' choice reflected his quiet strength, a role that few would understand, but which he accepted with dignity and respect. As he spoke, the earth trembled softly, as if the realm of shadows itself was greeting its new ruler. Hades, with his understanding of life and death, would bring order and peace to the world beyond, completing the balance that their new order required. The three brothers, having chosen their realms, looked upon each other with respect and solidarity. Though each would rule separate worlds, they were bound by an unbreakable oath, a promise to protect the balance of the cosmos and to uphold the peace they had fought so hard to secure. Together, they raised their hands in a solemn vow, their voices united in a declaration that would echo through the ages. "We are rulers of separate realms," Zeus declared, "but we are bound by purpose and by blood. We will honor this order, protect each other's realms, and stand together as guardians of the world." Poseidon and Hades joined in the vow, their words carrying the strength of the ocean and the solemnity of the earth. The skies, the seas, and the underworld were now divided, each realm with its own ruler, yet all part of a unified cosmos. With their realms decided, the brothers began to establish Olympus as the seat of their council, a place where the gods could gather, share counsel, and watch over the world. The mountain, once a battlefield, became a sanctuary of unity, its halls a place of justice and wisdom. Here, the gods would rule, not through fear, but through understanding and balance. As Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades began to shape Olympus, they invited their allies to join them, creating a council that would oversee the well-being of mortals and ensure that each realm remained in harmony. The halls of Olympus became a symbol of their commitment, a place where gods and goddesses could gather to guide the world and protect the balance they had created. Hera, Demeter, Hestia, and the other gods who had fought alongside Zeus took their places, each one an essential part of the new order. Together, they would rule Olympus as a united family, their wisdom and strength a guiding force for all who dwelt under their protection. As they gathered for the first time in the newly established halls of Olympus, the gods and goddesses shared their visions for the world. Zeus spoke of justice and guidance, Poseidon of harmony with nature, and Hades of respect for the cycle of life and death. Together they laid out the laws that would govern Olympus and the realms below, ensuring that each god and goddess would honor their duties and protect their domains. Let this council be a place of wisdom and unity, Zeus declared. May our decisions honor the world we have freed, and may we always stand together, no matter the trials that await. The council affirmed their commitment, each god and goddess taking their place in the order that would govern Olympus. The bonds forged in battle now became bonds of duty and trust, a promise to uphold peace and justice across all realms. As the council adjourned, Zeus looked upon his brothers and allies with pride. They had done more than just defeat the Titans. They had forged a legacy, a new order that would shape the heavens and earth alike. Each realm was now in balance, each ruler entrusted with the care of their domain. The world, once cast in shadow, was now filled with light, unity, and purpose. And so, the era of Olympus began, a time of peace and prosperity led by Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades. They were no longer just warriors, they were guardians of a world built on hope, each one a protector of the cosmos in his own right. But while peace reigned in Olympus, Zeus knew that maintaining order would require more than just unity. It would require strength. Join us in the next episode as Zeus, with Thunderbolt in hand, receives a powerful gift from the Cyclopes, a weapon that will secure his throne and shape the course of Olympus. Though peace had settled over Olympus, Zeus knew that ruling the heavens would require more than strength alone. His father, Cronus, had ruled by instilling fear and wielding power ruthlessly. But Zeus sought a different kind of rule, one based on justice and the protection of balance across the cosmos. Yet he also understood that to maintain this peace, he would need a symbol of his authority, a weapon that would establish his position as king. Zeus's mind returned to the Thunderbolt, the weapon he had wielded in the Titanomachy. It was more than a tool of war. It was a gift from the Cyclopes, who had placed their faith in him, recognizing him as the leader who could bring light to a world shrouded in darkness. The Thunderbolt was a part of him now, an extension of his spirit. But he knew it could be even more, a weapon that could command the heavens and maintain the balance he sought to protect. With this purpose in mind, Zeus made his way back to the Cyclopes, his old allies who had crafted the thunderbolt that had led him to victory. The great forge in the depths of Olympus was alive with flame and molten metal, and the Cyclopes welcomed him, their eyes gleaming with reverence and anticipation. They understood why he had come. Brontes, the eldest Cyclops, stepped forward, his hands scarred yet steady from centuries of forging divine creations. "Zeus, Lord of Olympus," he began, his voice deep and rumbling, "we have seen your strength, your wisdom, and the justice with which you rule. The thunderbolt we forged was but a glimpse of what it could be. Now, let us craft it into the true symbol of your reign." Zeus nodded, placing the thunderbolt in Brontes' hand. The Cyclopes took it with reverence, sensing the power within it. "Make it a weapon of balance," Zeus instructed, his gaze firm. "One that not only commands the heavens, but protects the world we have fought to free." The Cyclopes bowed in unison, a silent promise passing between them. They would forge the thunderbolt into a weapon worthy of Olympus, a tool of power and protection that would serve as Zeus's ultimate symbol of authority and justice. The Cyclopes began their work, each movement precise, each strike of the hammer echoing with purpose. Brontes, Steropes, and Arges worked in perfect harmony, their combined strength and expertise transforming the thunderbolt's raw energy into something refined, something greater. Sparks flew as they channeled divine power into the metal, binding it with the essence of the heavens and the strength of Olympus. As they hammered, each Cyclops whispered ancient incantations, blessings that would bind the thunderbolt not only to Zeus's hand, but to his heart and spirit. The weapon would respond to his will, bending to his command as an extension of his own purpose. Lightning arced across the forge, illuminating the room in bright flashes as the thunderbolt grew brighter, its energy intensifying with every strike of the hammer. Outside the forge, the sky began to darken, as if the heavens themselves were aware of the transformation taking place. Clouds gathered and thunder rolled, a symphony that matched the rhythm of the Cyclops' work. Zeus watched with awe as the thunderbolt took shape, its light blazing stronger and purer with each moment. At last, the Cyclops finished their work. Brontes stepped forward, holding the thunderbolt, now transformed into a weapon of unimaginable strength and beauty. It pulsed with a steady, bright glow, the very essence of the heavens captured within its core. With a deep breath, he offered it to Zeus, his face solemn. "Zeus, king of Olympus," Brontes intoned, "we present you with the perfected thunderbolt. It is more than a weapon. It is a symbol of your reign, a tool of justice that will protect the world and maintain the balance you cherish. Use it wisely, for it carries the power to shape the fate of the cosmos." As Zeus grasped the thunderbolt, a surge of energy coursed through him. The weapon felt alive in his hand, resonating with his very soul. He raised it high, and a bolt of lightning shot into the sky, piercing the clouds and filling the heavens with light. Thunder roared in response, as if the cosmos itself was acknowledging its new ruler. This was not merely a weapon, it was a declaration, a promise to protect and to lead with justice. Eager to test his new weapon, Zeus stepped outside the forge, his allies and fellow gods gathering to witness. Hera, Poseidon, Hades, and the others looked on as Zeus raised the thunderbolt, its light casting a radiant glow over the mountain. With a sweep of his hand, Zeus unleashed a bolt of lightning that cut across the sky, splitting clouds and shaking the heavens with its might. He then directed the thunderbolt downward, commanding it with precision as it struck the earth, sending a crackling arc of energy that illuminated the land. The thunderbolt obeyed his will completely, bending to his intent, a force as refined and resolute as his own purpose. Zeus smiled, feeling its power flow through him, a reminder of both his strength and his duty to protect the balance they had fought so hard to establish. The gods around him cheered, their confidence, their king, renewed. They saw in the thunderbolt not only Zeus's power, but his commitment to their shared vision of a just Olympus. With this weapon, Zeus would be able to maintain peace, to protect his allies, and to uphold the values they had all sworn to defend. As the light from the thunderbolt faded, Zeus looked upon his allies, each one a vital part of the council that would rule Olympus. He held the Thunderbolt as a reminder of their shared journey, a symbol of the unity that had brought them through the Titanomachy. This weapon, forged from the loyalty and strength of the Cyclopes, was more than just a tool of war. It was a bond, an oath made manifest in divine fire. Zeus addressed his allies, his voice filled with conviction. This thunderbolt will be a promise, a vow that Olympus will remain a place of justice and balance. Let it remind us of our duty to protect all realms, to guide the world with wisdom, and to uphold the peace we have fought for. The gods nodded, each feeling the weight of his words. They were not just rulers, they were guardians, protectors of a cosmos that relied on their strength and unity, and at the heart of that protection stood Zeus, his thunderbolt a beacon of their commitment. With his thunderbolt in hand, Zeus looked over Olympus, the mountain now settled into its role as the seat of divine power. Under his rule, Olympus would be a sanctuary of unity, a place where gods and mortals alike could find guidance and justice. The thunderbolt would stand as a symbol of his reign, a reminder that while power could destroy, it could also protect and heal. As he raised it one last time, Zeus felt the weight of his role settle upon him, a responsibility he would carry with pride and purpose. He had ascended from the hidden child of prophecy to the leader of Olympus, and now, with the thunderbolt forged anew, he would shape the future with strength and compassion. As the gods dispersed, returning to their realms and duties, Zeus stood alone on the peak of Olympus, thunderbolt in hand. The skies were calm, the clouds parted, as if the heavens themselves acknowledged the beginning of a new age. Zeus knew that trials would come, that Olympus would face challenges both from within and beyond. But with the thunderbolt by his side, he felt prepared to face them. The thunderbolt, blazing with divine power, symbolized a new order, a promise to lead not with tyranny, but with wisdom and justice. And so, with a heart full of resolve and a spirit bound to his duty, Zeus took his place as the true king of Olympus, ready to face whatever trials lay ahead. But as Zeus settles into his role as ruler, the gods of Olympus begin to take their places by his side, each with their own strengths and ambitions. Join us in the next episode as Olympus ascends and the divine hierarchy is established, solidifying the new order and preparing for challenges that will test the bonds of Olympus itself. With the thunderbolt in his hand and his throne secured, Zeus stood at the center of Olympus, gazing at the great halls they had established together. Olympus was no longer just a mountain, but the very heart of the divine realm, a sanctuary for the gods, and a symbol of the order they had fought to create. The realm was alive with a peaceful energy, a place of tranquility and strength, a sanctuary set high above the world they watched over. The halls of Olympus gleamed with marble and gold, adorned with pillars that reached into the sky, a testament to the unity and strength that now held the cosmos in balance. The gods assembled around Zeus, ready to embrace the roles that would define not only their place in Olympus, but their purpose in the world below. As Zeus looked upon his allies, his gaze fell on Hera, who had fought beside him in the Titanomachy with courage and loyalty. Hera stepped forward, her presence regal and unwavering, embodying both strength and grace. She would not only be his partner, but a powerful figure in her own right, a queen who would help guide the gods with wisdom and fairness. Hera, Zeus addressed her, his voice filled with respect. You have been my steadfast ally and my fiercest supporter. It is only fitting that you stand beside me as Queen of Olympus, a symbol of strength and unity for all gods and mortals. Hera nodded, accepting the role with dignity. As Queen of Olympus, she would bring balance to the council, a voice of reason and a protector of the bonds between gods and mortals alike. Her position would also cement her role as a guardian of families and marriages, a role she took on with pride and purpose. With Hera by his side, Zeus felt a new sense of stability, knowing that Olympus would have a queen as devoted to its future as he was. Poseidon, powerful and unyielding, stepped forward next, his trident gleaming with the energy of the vast oceans he commanded. As the god of the sea, Poseidon's domain stretched across the waters that covered the earth, a realm both beautiful and dangerous. His loyalty to Olympus was unwavering, and his presence brought strength to the council. Poseidon, Zeus said, his voice resonating with gratitude and respect. The seas are vast and boundless, just as your spirit is. You will rule over the oceans, a protector of all that dwells within them. May your trident be a symbol of both peace and strength across the waters of the world. Poseidon accepted his role with a solemn nod, his trident pulsing with energy. As Lord of the Seas, he would watch over the oceans, guiding them with both compassion and power, ensuring that the seas remained a source of life and balance for the world below. The realm of water would be a place of respect and strength under his command. Hades, ever quiet and contemplative, approached next. Though his domain was one of shadows, his understanding of life's natural cycles was unmatched. He was the keeper of souls, a ruler whose role would forever separate him from the light of Olympus, yet was essential to the balance of all realms. Hades, Zeus addressed him, his tone both respectful and solemn. Your realm is one that few will ever fully understand, yet it is vital to the order we have created. You will rule over the underworld, a realm of rest and renewal, where all lives come to find peace. May you bring justice and balance to the souls entrusted to your care. Hades accepted his role with a silent nod, his gaze steady. The underworld would be his realm, a place where he would guide the dead with fairness and impartiality. Though it set him apart from the others, Hades took on the responsibility with quiet dignity, knowing that his role was as necessary as that of any god on Olympus. From that moment, Hades became the unseen guardian of the cosmos, his duty binding him to the underworld, where he would watch over the souls of both gods and mortals. As the roles of the realms were established, Demeter and Hestia stepped forward, each embodying the quiet strength that sustained life. Demeter, the goddess of the harvest, would watch over the earth's bounty, bringing growth and nourishment to all. Hestia, the goddess of the hearth, would maintain the warmth of family and unity within both mortal and divine homes. Demeter, Zeus said with admiration, "Your touch brings life to the world. You will watch over the harvest and ensure that the earth continues to provide for those who depend on it. Yours is the blessing of abundance, a gift to the world below." Demeter smiled, accepting her role with pride. She would nurture the earth, her presence a reminder of the connection between gods and mortals, sustaining life through seasons of both growth and rest. Turning to Hestia, Zeus continued, "And you, Hestia, will guard the hearth. You are the light that brings warmth to all who gather, the unity that binds both gods and mortals. May your fire bring peace to Olympus and to every home under its protection." Hestia's role as keeper of the hearth became a symbol of unity, her gentle strength serving as a foundation for both Olympus and the mortal world. She would watch over families, her flame a constant reminder of the warmth and comfort that the gods brought to their people. As the structure of Olympus took shape, the next generation of gods stepped forward to take their places. Athena, the goddess of wisdom, would bring guidance and strategy to the council, a voice of reason and insight that would guide the gods in times of challenge. Apollo and Artemis, the twin gods of light and the hunt, would bring their unique strengths, watching over both knowledge and nature. Athena, Zeus addressed her with pride, "Your wisdom is a gift to us all. You will be the protector of knowledge and strategy, a guide for both gods and mortals in times of need. May your wisdom bring clarity and justice to our council." Athena nodded, her gaze filled with determination. She would serve as a counselor, her insight a guiding force in the decisions that shaped Olympus. Turning to Apollo and Artemis, Zeus smiled. Apollo, you are the light that brings inspiration and healing. You will watch over music, prophecy, and health, a guide to all who seek knowledge. Artemis, you are the protector of the wilderness, the huntress who keeps nature's balance. Together, you will bring light and guidance to Olympus and the world below. The twins accepted their roles, each embodying a balance of light and nature, inspiration and protection. Apollo's light would guide the world, while Artemis would watch over its wild places, a reminder of the harmony that bound all realms. With the roles of each god and goddess established, Zeus looked upon his council with pride. They were more than rulers. They were protectors, each with a purpose that would uphold the balance they had fought so hard to create. Olympus had ascended, a realm that would guide the world with wisdom, compassion, and strength. The gods raised their hands in a unified oath, pledging to uphold their duties, to protect the world, and to honor the bonds that held them together. The council was complete, a circle of divine guardians who would watch over Olympus and the world below. With the council's oath, Olympus truly became the heart of the cosmos, its gods and goddesses bound to their purpose, their roles a promise to protect the balance they had established. As the gods dispersed to their respective realms and duties, Zeus remained on the peak of Olympus, looking out over the world they would now guide. Each god and goddess held a role that would serve both Olympus and the world below, a system of balance that had been forged in the fires of war, but tempered with the wisdom of peace. Olympus stood as a beacon, a promise that the age of fear had ended and a new era of justice and protection had begun. With the Thunderbolt in his grasp, Zeus knew that they had created something extraordinary, an order that would last for ages, a legacy that would endure as long as the stars in the sky. But even as Olympus ascended, challenges awaited. Not all were content with the new order, and acts of defiance would soon arise. Join us in the next episode as Zeus faces his first test of power, making a decision that will challenge both his rule and the unity of Olympus. Though peace had settled over Olympus, harmony was not as easily secured among all the gods. Not everyone was fully content with the new order, and some saw the balance of power as flawed. Among them was Prometheus, the wise Titan who had fought alongside Zeus in the Titanomachy. Known for his compassion and far-reaching vision, Prometheus had always been a voice for the well-being of mortals, a voice that would soon place him at odds with Zeus himself. For Prometheus, the world needed more than just a structured hierarchy of gods. He saw the mortal realm, full of potential yet vulnerable, and wished to grant humans the knowledge and tools they needed to thrive. Fire, he believed, would empower them, lifting them from darkness and giving them the means to build, learn, and grow. And so, without Zeus's blessing, Prometheus took it upon himself to defy Olympus's laws, gifting fire to humankind. When Zeus learned of this act, his initial response was disbelief. To him, fire was a gift meant for the gods alone, a symbol of divine power that mortals were neither prepared for nor worthy of wielding. Prometheus's act was a direct challenge, a step that threatened to destabilize the careful order Olympus had only just begun to establish. Zeus summoned Prometheus to Olympus, his eyes blazing with anger. The betrayal was palpable, a reminder that even those who had once stood by him could defy his will. As the Titan entered the grand hall, the other gods watched in tense silence, each aware that Zeus's authority was now being questioned for the first time since the fall of Cronus. "Prometheus," Zeus's voice thundered through the hall. "You dared to steal the gift of fire and give it to mortals against the decree of Olympus. Have you forgotten the cost of our victory, the order we have fought so hard to build? You have betrayed that order, placing all of us at risk." Prometheus met Zeus's gaze, undeterred by the god's wrath. "I have not forgotten, Zeus, but I do not see this gift as a betrayal. Mortals are not merely playthings for the gods. They have their own spirit, their own destiny. Fire will allow them to rise beyond mere survival, to create, to become more." But Zeus, unwilling to compromise the authority of Olympus, viewed Prometheus's reasoning as arrogance and defiance. In his mind, the survival of their new order depended on control, on ensuring that the boundaries between gods and mortals remained clear and inviolable. Zeus's anger simmered as he weighed the consequences of Prometheus's actions. He could not allow such open defiance to go unpunished, for to do so would be to undermine his rule and the stability of Olympus. The gods watched in silence, understanding that whatever decision Zeus made would set a precedent, a foundation upon which Olympus's authority would rest. "Prometheus," Zeus declared, his voice a mix of disappointment and resolve, "you have overstepped your bounds in granting fire to mortals. You have challenged the will of Olympus and the structure we have created. For this, you will face the consequences of your actions." Prometheus stood tall, accepting his fate with quiet dignity, even as the weight of Zeus's judgment fell upon him. He knew that his actions would cost him dearly, but he held fast to his belief that mortals were worth the risk. The choice to empower them, even if it meant punishment, was one he did not regret. To ensure that his punishment would be both a deterrent and a symbol of divine authority, Zeus decreed that Prometheus would be bound to a remote mountain peak where he would suffer for his defiance. There, each day an eagle, symbolic of Zeus's wrath, would descend upon Prometheus, devouring his liver, only for it to regenerate each night, prolonging his torment for eternity. The other gods watched as Zeus's command was carried out, their expressions a mixture of solemnity and unease. They understood that Prometheus's actions had threatened their order, yet many felt sympathy for the Titan, whose compassion for mortals had driven him to take such a bold risk. Prometheus was taken to the desolate mountain, chained to its rocky heights, his body exposed to the elements and his spirit tested by unending pain. Yet even in his suffering, he remained resolute, his mind fixed on the fire he had gifted to humanity, a fire that now blazed brightly in the mortal realm, changing their lives forever. The binding of Prometheus sent ripples through Olympus. While many gods supported Zeus's decision, understanding the need for order and respect for Olympus's authority, others felt a lingering sense of unease. Hestia, goddess of the hearth, voiced her concerns, her quiet strength masking a deep empathy for the Titan. Zeus, Hestia spoke softly. Prometheus's intentions were not born of malice. He sought only to uplift those who look to us for guidance. Perhaps there is a way to show mercy while preserving the balance we have fought to protect. But Zeus remained firm, convinced that his decision was necessary. The strength of Olympus lies in the respect for our laws, he replied. Prometheus may have acted from compassion, but defiance cannot be tolerated. If we allow such actions to go unpunished, others will question our authority, and chaos will follow. Yet beneath his resolve, Zeus could sense the tension this act had sown among his allies. The punishment of Prometheus had secured his rule, but it had also shown the gods the cost of challenging Olympus's order. As days turned to weeks, the gods witnessed the suffering of Prometheus, a reminder of the authority Zeus held and the price of defying Olympus. But with each day that passed, the mortals below learned to wield fire, building civilizations, forging tools, and discovering knowledge that would propel them forward. The gift of fire had sparked a new age for humanity, one of progress and creativity, as Prometheus had foreseen. Though bound and suffering, Prometheus's sacrifice had not been in vain. The fire he had given to mortals grew, not only as a tool of survival, but as a beacon of independence. Zeus, observing humanity from the heights of Olympus, began to see that Prometheus's actions had planted seeds of change that even he could not fully control. In this new world, mortals were beginning to forge their own destinies, inspired by the spark of fire and the resilience of a titan who had dared to defy the gods. In time, the story of Prometheus's punishment would become a legend among both gods and mortals, a tale of courage, compassion, and sacrifice. His act of defiance had tested the limits of Zeus's authority, reminding the gods that even divine rule could be questioned. The punishment of Prometheus was a stark warning to all who might challenge Olympus, yet it also served as a testament to the enduring power of hope and resilience. Zeus knew that Prometheus's legacy would live on, a reminder that power alone could not define Olympus. True strength lay not only in authority, but in compassion, in the wisdom to recognize the complexities of both mortal and divine nature. Though his decision had secured the order he sought, it had also sown the seeds of questions that would continue to echo through Olympus. As he stood alone in the halls of Olympus, Zeus felt the weight of his first great act as king, a reminder that the choices he made would shape both the world of the gods and the lives of mortals for ages to come. The binding of Prometheus marked a turning point in Zeus's rule. It was a testament to the strength of Olympus, a reminder of the cost of defiance, and a warning to all who might challenge the new order. Yet, as Zeus looked down upon the fire now spreading through the mortal world, he knew that his reign would be defined by choices even more challenging than this one. For every act of power brought questions of balance and justice. And as the fires of Prometheus continued to burn, Zeus understood that maintaining order would be a complex, delicate dance, a balance between strength and wisdom, authority and mercy. With Prometheus's punishment complete, Zeus recognizes the need for clear laws to guide both gods and mortals. Join us in the next episode as he establishes the first divine laws of Olympus, setting the foundation for justice and order in the new age. Punishment of Prometheus had sent a clear message to all of Olympus and beyond. Defiance of divine order would not go unpunished. Yet, as days passed, Zeus found himself questioning the nature of his own authority. While his rule was absolute, he knew that it could not rest solely on force and punishment. The gods and the world they protected required something deeper, a system of justice that would ensure fairness and order. Zeus gathered the gods on Olympus, their faces reflecting a mix of curiosity and respect. Hera, Poseidon, Athena, and the other gods watched with anticipation, knowing that this was a turning point, a moment that would shape not only Olympus but the fate of all realms. Zeus's voice was steady as he addressed them, his gaze sweeping over the council. To lead by strength alone is to invite fear, he began, his words carrying a weight that resonated through the hall. But we have not fought to free Olympus, only to rule by fear. We are more than just rulers. We are protectors, guides for both gods and mortals. The time has come to establish laws, principles that will govern Olympus, ensuring fairness and justice for all. Recognizing the gravity of his task, Zeus called upon his wisest allies to help shape these divine laws. Athena, the goddess of wisdom, stepped forward, her eyes alight with resolve. Justice must be the foundation of any order we seek to create, she said, her voice calm and thoughtful. Let us build a system that reflects both our strength and our compassion, one that honors the balance we have vowed to protect. Beside her, Themis, the Titaness of divine law, approached Zeus with a respectful nod. Once aligned with the Titans, she had seen the chaos born from unchecked power and understood the necessity of justice better than most. Zeus, she intoned, her voice filled with experience. Justice is more than punishment. It is balance, a guiding force that must consider the actions, intentions, and the consequences that follow. Let us make laws that are both fair and firm, rooted in wisdom and tempered by mercy. With Athena's insight and Themis's experience, Zeus felt prepared to undertake the creation of divine laws. He knew that these laws would serve as the foundation for Olympus, a guiding light for both gods and mortals, ensuring that his rule would endure beyond mere displays of power. After days of deliberation, Zeus and the council gathered to craft the first set of laws, which would serve as the code for Olympus. The gods assembled in the grand hall, their expressions reflecting both reverence and determination. These laws would be more than just rules. They would be principles that bound the gods to their duties and protected the harmony they had fought to achieve. The first law, proposed by Athena and accepted by the council, was the law of responsibility. All gods are entrusted with their realms and must act to protect and uphold the balance within them. This law was a reminder that power was not just a privilege, but a duty, a charge that each god must honor in their own realm. It would hold every god accountable for their actions, ensuring that the use of power was driven by wisdom rather than ambition. The second law was the law of consequence, a principle Themis believed essential for justice. All actions, divine or mortal, carry consequences. When harm is done, reparations must be made, and punishment will reflect the nature and intent of the act. This law established that justice would be met with fairness, that each crime or defiance would be addressed with balance considering not only the action, but its intention. The third law was the law of compassion. Proposed by Hestia, it was a reminder that justice must be tempered with mercy. While we must uphold order, we must remember the spirit of unity and kindness. In cases where compassion can guide us, let mercy shape our decisions. This law honored the delicate balance between authority and understanding, a promise that Olympus would not rule with cruelty but with empathy. With these laws in place for the gods, the council turned its attention to the mortal realm, realizing that justice must extend beyond Olympus. Hermes, god of messengers and travelers, spoke up. Mortals look to us for guidance, but they too must be accountable for their actions. They have been given fire, knowledge, and the ability to create. Perhaps we can grant them a way to seek justice among themselves. Zeus considered Hermes' words, understanding the importance of empowering mortals to shape their own destiny. After a moment of thought, he decreed that Olympus would create sacred laws for humanity, guidelines that would help them grow in wisdom, protect each other, and build communities based on respect and fairness. These laws would serve as a bridge between mortals and gods, a system that would teach humanity not only to fear divine power, but to understand and respect it. It would ensure that mortals, though fragile and limited, would have a framework for justice, a way to resolve disputes, protect the innocent, and seek harmony within their own societies, to symbolize the establishment of divine justice. Athena proposed creating an artifact that would represent these laws for all time. She and Hephaestus, the god of craftsmanship, forged a set of scales, beautifully crafted from celestial metals and balanced with divine precision. The scales would serve as a symbol of justice, a reminder that all actions, mortal and divine, would be weighed with fairness. Athena held up the scales, her voice clear and filled with conviction. Let these scales be a beacon for all who seek truth. They will remind us that justice is not swift wrath, but balanced wisdom, an understanding that considers every side before judgment. Zeus nodded in agreement, admiring the scales as a symbol that would guide Olympus in the centuries to come. The scales would stand at the heart of the council hall, a constant reminder of the promises they had made and the justice they were bound to uphold. With the laws established and the scales of justice created, Zeus turned to the assembled gods. One by one, they placed their hands upon the scales, each swearing an oath to uphold the laws and protect the harmony of Olympus. The oath was more than just a promise. It was a commitment to honor the values they had fought for, a vow that bound each god to the responsibilities of their power. With these laws, Zeus declared, his voice resonating through the hall, we will ensure that Olympus remains a place of balance and wisdom, a guiding light for the world below. May these laws guide us. May they remind us that strength is tempered by wisdom, and may they protect us from the mistakes of those who came before. As the gods completed their oaths, a powerful energy filled the hall, a sense of unity and purpose that solidified the new order of Olympus. Each god felt the weight of the responsibility they had sworn to carry, a reminder that justice would now be the foundation of their rule. With the laws in place and the council united, Zeus looked upon his allies, each one embodying a facet of the justice they had sworn to uphold. From Hera's loyalty and Poseidon's strength to Athena's wisdom and Hestia's compassion, each god would play a role in maintaining the order they had established. Olympus was now bound not by fear, but by justice, a realm guided by principles that would ensure its strength for ages to come. The creation of the divine laws marked a turning point in Olympus's history. It was more than a code. It was a promise that they would govern not only with power, but with fairness, protecting both gods and mortals alike. These laws would guide their decisions, shaping Olympus into a realm that valued both strength and compassion, a place where every being could find justice. With the scales of justice as their symbol, Olympus stood ready to face the future, a beacon of hope and balance for all who dwelled within its reach. Zeus, the god who had once fought to free his family, now led them with a purpose greater than power, a purpose that honored the harmony they had all sworn to protect. As the gods left the hall, each felt the weight of the laws they had created. They knew that the decisions they made would ripple through both the heavens and the mortal world, guiding all who sought truth and fairness. The birth of justice was more than a decree. It was a legacy, a foundation upon which all future decisions would rest. Zeus watched as the gods dispersed, feeling a profound sense of accomplishment and humility. The creation of these laws was a reminder of the values he cherished, the balance he would strive to protect. For as long as the scales of justice stood, Olympus would be a realm of fairness and wisdom, a sanctuary for gods and mortals alike. But even as justice prevailed, the gods' curiosity about the nature of humanity continued to grow. Join us in the next episode as Zeus tests the strength and resilience of mortals, leading to the opening of Pandora's box and the release of forces that would forever change the world. After the fall of the Titans and the rise of the Olympian gods, the world had been remade, a place of balance and harmony, where gods and mortals coexisted under the watchful eyes of their divine rulers. Yet, despite the beauty of the new world, Zeus, the king of the gods, could not shake the uncertainty that lingered in his heart. The mortals, with their fragile lives and boundless curiosity, were ever in danger of succumbing to chaos. It was then that Zeus, with his boundless power and a heart brimming with both mercy and justice, decided to test the mortals, an experiment that would lead to both blessings and curses and forever change the course of history. To carry out his test, Zeus turned to Hephaestus, the god of fire and creation, whose hands could shape life from the very elements of the world. Together, they crafted Pandora, the first mortal woman, born from the very essence of divine craftsmanship. Hephaestus shaped her from the clay of the earth, infusing her with beauty beyond compare and the divine spark of life. Athena, goddess of wisdom, bestowed upon her a keen mind, while Aphrodite filled her heart with love and allure. Each god contributed their gifts, making her an unparalleled being, a fusion of divine and mortal traits. But it was not just her beauty or her intellect that made Pandora extraordinary. Zeus himself gave her a gift, a small, intricate box wrapped in fine, delicate chains, a gift both mysterious and tempting. "This box," Zeus said, "contains the secrets of the world. It is a gift to you, but it comes with a warning. Never, under any circumstances, open it." This was Zeus's final test, a test of trust, of temptation, and of choice. Pandora, gifted and adored by the gods, descended to the mortal realm. She was unlike any other mortal. Her beauty and grace were unmatched, and the mortals who looked upon her with awe marveled at her divine origin. She became the perfect companion to the humans who had inherited the earth, a beacon of the gods' favor. But despite the gifts she had received, Pandora's heart was heavy. She was burdened with the weight of the box, an object so full of mystery that it consumed her thoughts day and night. The promise of knowledge, of untold power, rested in her hands, and her curiosity began to grow like a flame, flickering at the edges of her consciousness. As time passed, the allure of the box grew stronger. Pandora, though grateful for the love and admiration she received, could not escape the haunting thought of what lay inside. The gods had given her a divine gift, but the warning attached to it seemed almost like an impossible challenge, a test that no mortal could ever truly resist. Zeus, watching from his high throne on Olympus, knew that Pandora would eventually face the choice. His test was not about the box. It was about what she would do with the temptation. Would she trust the gods and obey their wishes? Or would she, like the mortals before her, succumb to the pull of curiosity, risking everything for the promise of knowledge? On one fateful evening, as the moon rose high over the earth, Pandora stood alone, the box in her hands. The weight of her decision pressed down on her like an unbearable storm. Her heart raced with anticipation and fear, her fingers trembling as they brushed against the smooth surface of the box. The warning echoed in her mind, but the promise of the unknown was too great to ignore. With a deep breath, Pandora lifted the lid. What followed was an explosion of light and sound that shook the very heavens. From the box, a whirlwind of shadows and turmoil poured out. Diseases, despair, jealousy, and rage, the very forces that had once plagued the world. The world below trembled as the very air seemed to darken, and chaos reigned as evil was unleashed upon the mortal realm. The sky darkened as if mourning the choice Pandora had made. The world, once teeming with peace and prosperity, now groaned beneath the weight of the evils that had been set free. Disease spread like wildfire. Families were torn apart by jealousy, and the hearts of mortals turned cold and bitter. A veil of suffering descended upon them, and Zeus, witnessing the chaos unfold, felt the sting of regret in his heart. But in the midst of the storm, there was one final gift. As the darkness swirled, Pandora's eyes caught a glimmer of light. From the depths of the box, a small, flickering flame emerged. Hope. It was fragile, but it was there, a single spark amidst the devastation. The flame, though small, burned brightly, offering the mortals a chance to rise above their suffering, to find resilience in the face of adversity. Zeus, watching the turmoil from his throne, knew that Pandora's action had changed everything. The world had been irrevocably altered, but in the ashes of chaos, hope remained. The mortals, now marked by both the blessings and curses unleashed from the box, would have to find their own way. They would no longer be perfect beings, untouched by the flaws that marred the gods, but they had been given hope, a divine gift that would guide them through the darkest of times. Pandora, now filled with sorrow and regret, understood the weight of her actions. She had tested the mortals, and in doing so, she had given them the gift of choice. But with that gift came responsibility, one that would shape the fate of mankind for eons to come. As the days passed, Zeus reflected on the outcome of his test. He had given the mortals the gift of free will, knowing full well the consequences of such a gift. The balance between creation and destruction was delicate, but it was in the hands of the mortals to decide how they would wield it. Zeus did not regret his decision, for it had shown him the strength and weakness of the human heart. The mortals would rise and fall, but in their suffering and triumphs, they would become something more than mere pawns in the gods' game. They would carve their own destiny. The storm of Pandora's box had passed, but the scars it left on the mortal world would remain forever. What will become of the mortals in the wake of such trials? And what will the gods do with the knowledge that their creations are both fragile and fierce? Join us in the next episode as the gods seek peace amidst the ashes of Pandora's chaos, and the balance of the realms begins to shift once more. As Zeus stood on the highest peak of Olympus, gazing over the sprawling world below, his mind drifted through the journey that had led him here. He had once been a hidden child, sheltered in the caves of Crete, destined to confront the wrath of his father, Cronus. Guided by the prophecy, Zeus had grown from a child of secrecy to a warrior, and finally to the leader of the gods. The battles of the Titanomachy were still vivid in his mind, the war that had shaken the heavens and bound him to his allies, each of whom had fought not just for power, but for the chance to forge a new order. Together, they had brought down Cronus, reclaiming Olympus and uniting to create a realm where justice, not fear, would govern the cosmos. Zeus recalled the forging of his Thunderbolt, a gift from the Cyclopes that had become a symbol of his strength and purpose. With it, he had secured peace, yet understood that true peace required more than raw power. It required wisdom, balance, and laws that would guide the gods themselves, ensuring that they honored the realms they protected. Now, as he looked upon the newly established Olympus, Zeus felt a profound sense of accomplishment. The gods had sworn oaths to uphold justice, to protect the world below, and to uphold the harmony they had sacrificed so much to achieve. For the first time since the fall of the Titans, Olympus was a realm at peace, a sanctuary born from unity and the shared commitment of all its gods. With Olympus firmly established, the gods began to settle into their roles, bringing order and balance to their respective realms. Zeus, as the king of Olympus, oversaw the heavens, his thunderbolt serving as a reminder of both his authority and his responsibility. He watched over the world below, offering guidance and protection to mortals and gods alike. Hera, the queen of Olympus, embodied the spirit of loyalty and guardianship. She upheld the sanctity of family and marriage, standing as a protector of divine bonds, ensuring that the values of Olympus were honored. Her strength brought stability to the council, her presence a steady anchor for all who dwelled in Olympus. Poseidon ruled the seas, his trident a symbol of his power over oceans and rivers. He maintained the natural balance of the waters, ensuring that the seas remained a source of life and strength. Mortals and gods alike revered him, recognizing his dominion over the vast and mysterious depths. Hades, ruler of the underworld, presided over the cycle of life and death, guiding souls to their final rest. His realm was one of shadows, yet he fulfilled his role with fairness, ensuring that all beings received justice beyond their mortal lives. Though often apart from the other gods, Hades' duty was essential, a constant reminder of the natural order. Demeter, the goddess of harvest, nurtured the earth, bringing abundance and growth to the mortal world. Her presence was felt with each season, her power evident in the bountiful fields and forests that flourished under her care. Mortals prayed to her for fruitful crops, her role a bridge between gods and humans, binding Olympus to the cycles of nature. The newly constructed halls of Olympus became a gathering place for the gods, a symbol of their unity and shared purpose. Each god had their own realm, yet they came together often, sharing counsel and wisdom, forging a bond that would protect the world below. Athena, the goddess of wisdom, guided the council with insight, her scales of justice a reminder of their commitment to fairness and compassion. Hestia, the goddess of the hearth, tended to the fires of Olympus, her flame a beacon of warmth and unity. Her presence filled the halls with peace, reminding all who entered that they were bound by more than power. They were bound by kinship and duty. Even Hermes, the swift-footed messenger, moved between realms, ensuring that all realms remained connected, carrying news and guidance between gods and mortals alike. As each god and goddess took their place, they felt the profound peace that their united efforts had achieved. Olympus was not just a seat of power, it was a sanctuary, a place where gods could guide and protect, a realm built on promises made to each other and to the world below. Though harmony reigned, Zeus knew that peace would not remain unchallenged forever. The world they had built was powerful, but even Olympus was vulnerable to the forces of ambition, defiance, and the natural struggles of life and death. The act of binding Prometheus and releasing Pandora's box had already shown him the complexities of ruling, for each new gift to mortals came with risks, and each act of defiance brought questions of compassion and discipline. Yet, Zeus was resolved. As king of Olympus, he would continue to protect and uphold the order they had fought so hard to establish. He understood that every challenge would test their unity, but he had faith in the gods who stood beside him. Together, they would face whatever trials the future held, bound by the laws and oaths that guided them. As Zeus looked upon his allies, each one a pillar of strength and purpose, he felt a renewed sense of hope. They had proven that the power of Olympus was not just in the strength of their arms, but in the bond of their spirits, their shared vision of a world where gods ruled with wisdom and compassion. The laws they had established would be their guiding light, a promise to protect the realms, maintain justice, and preserve the peace they had won through sacrifice. The gods, inspired by this peace, pledged themselves to continue their roles with honor. They understood that true strength lay in humility, in respecting the balance they had sworn to uphold. And so, as the sun set over Olympus, the gods of the new era settled into their seats of power, ready to lead, to protect, and to bring light to the realms below. For now, Olympus was at peace. The gods found joy in their roles, guiding mortals, watching over nature, and fulfilling the balance they had established. But in the quiet moments, a subtle tension lingered, a reminder that peace, no matter how strong, could be fleeting. As Zeus watched over his kingdom, he knew that challenges would come, forces that would test Olympus and bring new trials to the gods. But with unity as their foundation and justice as their guiding light, they were ready to face the unknown. They had created a legacy, and now they would protect it. As the days turned to months, the gods found comfort in their roles, Olympus alive with the promise of harmony. But even as they enjoyed this peace, Zeus knew that the cosmos was filled with forces beyond even their control. Whispers of unrest, rumors of defiance, and prophecies of new conflicts drifted through the air, hinting that their unity would soon face a test as great as any battle they had fought before. The age of peace on Olympus was a triumph, yet it would not remain unchallenged. Giants and monsters lurked in the shadows, restless forces that waited for a chance to rise. And within Olympus, the seeds of ambition and betrayal had begun to take root, foreshadowing conflicts that would once again shake the very foundations of their realm. But peace was only the beginning. Join us in the next series as the gods of Olympus face new trials, as giants and rebellious forces rise to challenge their reign. In the next episode, the Titanomachy begins as ancient enemies gather their strength, threatening to bring chaos to Olympus and test the unity that binds the